Hi, everybody. Well, a bunch of people died since we last did a headlines portion. Harry Reid, Desmond Tutu, John Madden, Joan Didion. Unfortunately, it was no one that anyone might want to see go, except for maybe this one exception. Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal Twitter account. It is dead. That's right. Her personal Twitter account was suspended indefinitely for spreading lies about COVID. She'll now have to use her professional account to spread her bullshit. That one's still up. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene's Facebook account was dead for 24 hours, but unfortunately, it's going to rise from the dead like Lazarus or that other guy that the right-wingers claim to follow until his teachings conflict with their addiction to hate. Yeah, that guy. Harry Reid also passed away. He's going to be lying in state on January 11th. The former Senate Majority Leader was elected to the Senate as a conservative Democrat and over time became more and more progressive. Some of our most progressive politicians actually owe their careers to Reid, who apparently encouraged Elizabeth Warren to run for president, called AOC during difficult moments for her to encourage her, and was partially responsible for Bernie Sanders' rise to the Senate. According to the Washington Post, Reid went from being a pro-gun, anti-abortion, and an initial supporter of Justice Clarence Thomas guy to a liberal icon who actually blew up the Senate's cherished filibuster rules to confirm more liberal federal judges for President Barack Obama. You see, we can blow up the filibuster if it's important, like reinstating some semblance of actual democracy. It's been done before, Chuck Schumer. You can do it. The Senate actually plans to vote on legislation to make changes to the filibuster on January 17th. So we shall see. The part of Harry Reid's career that I found fascinating was how he did what had to be done to help defeat Mitt Romney's presidential run in 2012. He used the bully pulpit on the Senate floor to say that Romney hadn't paid any of his taxes over the past decade. Everyone called Reid a big liar because Romney had actually paid some taxes in 2 of those 10 years, and then he refused to release information about the rest of those years. Reid made that blanket statement, and he kind of fudged the truth a little bit to make his point, which came across loud and clear and definitely helped take some points off of Romney's support. And of course, this was back when being someone who takes advantage of people for profit and doesn't pay their taxes, would not be considered a plus by the Republican electorate. Remember those days? And it was also back when Twitter wouldn't run you out of town on a rail for not being a pristine adherent to some sort of unknowable 10 commandments of pristine liberal pristineness. Of course, moving on. Our beloved actress Betty White died at the age of 99. Clearly after People magazine had already gone to print. I just saw this at the grocery store. Seriously, why is no one taking these off the shelves? It says hey, Betty White turns 100, but she's just... Anyway, in addition to being a beloved actress, Betty was a lifelong activist for the humane treatment of animals. She supported foundations across the country and made other generous donations in the name of animal welfare. After Hurricane Katrina, she actually paid for the plane that relocated penguins and sea otters that were suffering in the destroyed zoo. She paid for the whole plane. It seems today that activists in general have forgotten about animal welfare. You don't hear that much about it anymore. Probably because of all the crises in the sphere of human welfare. But the idea that some living things are okay to be subjugated and some aren't is unfortunately a problem that crosses the lines of genus and species. And if I might add, if we're, subjugating animals is really, and mistreating them is it's kind of at the base of a lot of other things. Agricultural policy, trade, a whole bunch of other things are connected to this. So it's kind of interesting that it gets like no media coverage. Back to Betty White, though. For me, the Golden Girls were like family. I could very much relate to Sophia and Dorothy, and not so much Blanche, but whatever. But Betty White played her character Rose Nyland perfectly. Here is a little bit of Betty White's work in that show as a tribute to her.
Married.
That's impossible. Clayton brothers can't marry sisters.
right. You're from the South.
This has to be the biggest disappointment of my life.
Yes. Yeah, and I've known some real disappointment, too, believe me.
Rose, you're not going to tell us that story about the exploding pig again, are you?
I never told you a story about an exploding pig, Dorothy. It was a peg-legged pig. Our possum was the one that exploded. I was just trying to be kind, courteous, helpful.
Well, knock it off. I've had it up to here with your cheerful disposition.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it's easy to be cheerful around you two? You know how many of these stinking hot toddies I have to drink to keep on a happy face? Let me tell you about a lesson that I learned when I was a little girl in St. Olaf. If you hold a bird gently, the bird will stay. But if you squeeze the bird, his eyes will bug out. And Mr. Pet Shop owner gets very huffy and he won't let you touch the birds anymore. And the mice, he won't even let you in the room with the mice.
What is 8 times 6? Okay, now that we have a few minutes.
Someone was actually able to deceive me once. Do tell, Rose. St. Olaf's most famous OBMAG.
What's that?
Obstetrician magician. The amazing Shapiro. He delivered Bridget. But it was so confusing. It's a girl. Now it's a dove. Now it's a glass of milk. I don't know how he got her in that deck of cards. But there she was, right after the King of Hearts. Is this your baby?
Thank you so much for playing that, for letting me play that. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for that. R.I.P. Betty White.